Good morning, friends, and welcome to the pre-market view. US Senate has finally reached an agreement on increasing the debt ceiling, and this particular bill would be presented to the House of Representatives tonight, where it is likely to go through. And definitely this has put an end to the uncertainty around the default by the US, and it has gone down too well with the US markets, and the markets were up about 1.3 to 1.4%. In fact, both Dow and S&P managed to close at the record high levels, which is definitely a big comfort for the global markets rally. European markets too were up anywhere from 0.5% to almost about 1%, and when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Nikkei is up almost about 1%, and Shanghai is up almost about 0.4 to 0.5%. However, some of the other markets like Hang Seng are up marginally about 0.1 odd percent, and SGX Nifty is also suggesting that we are going to have a flat start, and it's likely to open around about 6115 to about 6120 levels, because we already have actually rallied in the past about 5 to 6 trading sessions. So with this news coming in, we do not seem to react too positively to that. In terms of flows, we had a very strong buying by the FIs both in the cash market and in the F&Os. In the cash market, the FIs were biased to the tune of about 1136 crore, and in the index futures they were biased to the tune of almost about 795 crore. However, the domestic institutions were sellers to the tune of about 1035 crore in the cash market. Our markets continued to show a lot of resilience despite the fact that the inflation data, both WPI and CPI, were not in favor. We did see a lot of strength in the broader market, and even the bank Nifty actually managed to stay put around about 11,400, 500 odd levels, which is definitely good. Also, the fact that some of the companies which have announced numbers so far have been quite good, particularly Infosys, TCS, Reliance Industries, Bajaj Auto. All these companies have announced good set of numbers, though early days as yet, but definitely that has lifted the broad sentiment. On that note, let me invite Shaival to take us through important F&O cues and the ideas that we could have from the F&O desk.
Good morning, friends. Let's have a view at derivatives. Friends, in Tuesday's trade, we have seen that the markets opened gap up and almost touched the levels of 6,200. But on the higher side, it was unable to sustain it for a long period of time, as some fresh short positions was seen in the market, and due to which markets finally ended up in red. Now, talking about the PCR ratio, from past couple of trading sessions, we've been seeing that the PCR ratio has been hovering in range of around 1.10 to 1.15, and in yesterday's trade, it has increased marginally from 1.12 to 1.13. Talking about the options activity, friends, it's clearly visible with each sharp move in the market. The option activity, or say the hands, have been changing in the market very frequently. Now 6,200 and 6,300 call as well as put option has seen good amount of activity taking place in Tuesday's trade. Whereas if I talk about put option, it's clearly visible that 6,100, 6,000, 5,900 strikes have added good amount of open interest. Now strike of 6,000 is the second highest strike which stands with open interest. So this would be an important level, because on closing basis this would be an important level, because 6,000 is the weekly VWAP, and also it has good amount of open interest. So this would be an important level to watch on. Whereas on the higher side, probably 6,200, to be precise, 6,236, which is the straddle break-even point for the month, would act as an hurdle. But if markets are able to surpass this level, then further upside can be seen, but it does not seem to be so rosy as of now. But from intraday perspective, friends, what we feel is that 6,050 might act as a good support for the market, and from intraday perspective, one can go short on REC Limited by maintaining a stop loss of 194 rupees 10 paisa. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, the companies which will be announcing numbers. Axis Bank, we are looking at a net profit of about 1250 crore. The key monitorable would be the NPLs and the slippages. Remember, last quarter company reported good set of numbers, so the expectations are very high this time around as well. HCL Tech, we are looking at a net profit of 1340 crore. After both Infosys and TCS surprising the street with good set of numbers, HCL Tech also would be one of the companies which could surprise the street with a very strong dollar revenue growth. It remains to be seen what kind of guidance are we really looking at from the management. The stock has already run up, and South Indian Bank, we are looking at a net profit of about 117 crore. TCS came out with stellar set of numbers. The company reported a net profit growth of almost 24% quarter on quarter, and even the dollar revenue growth, which the market was expecting around 5%, the company actually did a little better than that. So overall, TCS is firing on all cylinders, and we think that since the stock has already run up, there may not be a big spike up, but overall bias towards TCS continues to remain positive. CBI has filed FIR against the chairman of Aditya Birla Group, Kumar Mangalam Birla, as well as Hindalco for a case relating to coal allocation from 1993 to 2010. Though some of the political parties are opposing this particular move, definitely it would be a bit of a dampener for the entire Aditya Birla Group and particularly Hindalco. So expect some negative reaction in the stock, though we don't think there's a case for too much of fall in the stock price of Hindalco. So if the stocks correct to around 95 to 100, I think it would be a good entry point for a pullback. As per the media reports, the hotel industry could be given the status of infrastructure sector, and particularly for the projects above 200 crore, this is definitely a bit of positive for the companies like Indian Hotels, East India Hotel, etc. Tata Global, some positive news as the tea board is expecting about 2 to 2.5% increase in the production of the crop this year against about 1126.33 million kg. The expectation is that the growth would be almost about 2.5%. So since this is a raw material for Tata Global Beverages, it would be a bit of a positive. Reliance Industries, there are some reports that the volume growth in the KG-D6 block could increase by almost about 31% to almost about 17 MSCMD over a period of next 6 months, which could be a big positive for Reliance Industries. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 850 and a target of about 893 to about 910. Bajaj Auto also came out with a good set of numbers, and the net profit was 837 crore as against about 741 crore in the previous quarter. So one can go long on Bajaj Auto with a stop loss of 2083 and a target of about 2189 to about 2229. And Reliance Infra, again some positive news as the company plans to sell either all of its 11 road projects to pare its debt, and they have already appointed a consulting from EY to oversee the sale. So one can go long on Reliance Infra with a stop loss of about 403 and a target of about 423 to about 431. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.